Hi, I am a health and performance coach. My name is Niall Clerkin. Mostly, I'm concerned with things like mental energy, cognitive ability, career and life success. But I do this from a holistic perspective, first starting to build a foundation of strong, healthy practices in order to maximize an individual's potential. I get employed by executives to help them with their career and also by teams to help them be more productive. But today, Tracy has asked me to deliver a quick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the items that I believe can have the biggest impact on men in their lives. So here we go. Number 1. It's sleepy time. So, why is it that the very first thing that we all sacrifice when we have busy lives and we're trying to be more productive is the very thing that will help us to be more productive? Sleep. People who get 7 to 8 hours consistent good sleep every night have better memory, better cognitive function, better mood, are more productive, and actually have a better biological health because it leads to less insulin issues during the day. Now, who wouldn't want that? On the other side of that coin, people who only have 6 hours or less on average per night have a higher risk of burnout, have lower mood and higher aggression scores. They've got a higher risk of dementia because the lymphatic system doesn't get to take out the waste every night, and typically make poorer decisions in their day job. Now, something I say to busy executives all the time is if you rise and fall on the strength of your decisions, if you're sacrificing sleep in order to work late into the night, the next day you are making poorer decisions, and then the cycle will continue. It is a misnomer to think working late is more productive. It is less. But worse than that, it is terrible for your health and increases your risk of getting cancer and dementia. So please, let's get better sleep. Number 2, nutrition. I've been magically transferred to a kitchen. Yes, this does make us think about food. And the reason I'm in a kitchen and not a cafe is because you should be getting most of your food from your own kitchen, okay? The brain requires real food. Cognitive function requires real food. The body requires real food. The first thing you need to do with your diet is ditch ultra-processed foods. What's an ultra-processed food? It's something that is made in a factory that probably you couldn't make in a kitchen just like this, okay? What you need to eat is meat, fish, fowl, vegetables, and fruit. Ditch the vegetable oils. They are toxic for your body. Ditch sugar. It is terrible for you. It is just a toxic poison. And if you can, ditch grains, because quite frankly, all those bread-based meals are just carving you up and making you overweight. Did you know that overweight people actually develop a smaller brain? It is a terrible thing to find out, but as soon as you find it out, you'll want to drop a few kilos, okay? One of the things about dropping a few kilos, if you're a man in middle age, is there's a lot of talk about vegetarian diets at the moment and being plant-based for the environment. Do not go vegetarian to lose weight, okay? If you lose weight that way with a heavy vegetable carb diet, you will lose muscle mass and bone density. You must defend protein in your diet and cut out other foods in order to lose weight. However, if you are moving from a standard Australian diet, the SAD diet, to a real food diet that is high in protein-rich foods like chicken, fish, and beef, and good carbohydrates like vegetables and fruits, then you are going to lose weight anyway. If that's what you eat, and you ditch the carbohydrate, or you ditch the vegetable oils, you ditch the sugars and you ditch the grains, you are going to find your body 6 months from now is a far better body. But the brain is made up of the same nutrients and amino acids as your body. So your brain is going to be in a much better place too. So number 2 is find yourself a real food diet. I love sport. I love training. I love running. I'm one of those lucky people who, because they enjoy sport so much, sport has been a part of my life for my entire life. Unfortunately, though, of course, that doesn't mean that I am automatically going to be wonderfully healthy, because the truth is, what we are these days is sedentary. We sit to commute. We sit to work. We sit to be entertained. Netflix, anyone. We sit. We don't walk to work. We don't walk to the shop. We don't walk to the car. Well, we might walk to the car, but we barely walk. We don't do anything anymore. And so even if I go out to a lovely playing field like this and spend 40 minutes doing, sprints, strides, something athletic related, if the rest of the time, the rest of the day, I am just sitting on my butt, I am not actually doing what is evolutionarily needed to keep my body in good condition. So not all sporty people are actually functionally healthy people. And of course, those who don't do anything are a shade worse again. Now, I wish, because I love sport and exercise, that I could tell you that doing loads of sport and exercise is the answer. But it's actually not. The answer to us having better health, particularly men in middle age who are getting a little bit on the heavy side, we've got a few kids, we have sedentary jobs, is actually to move more. We need to walk up the stairs. We need to walk every day. 10,000 steps is there for a reason. If, like me, you're working from home a lot of days, you might find you've got 2,000 steps done and it's 5 p.m. I mean, this is ridiculous. We need to move or our body will give up on our muscles, our ligaments, our tendons and our bones. And that means when we're that little bit older again, that we'll fall and break a hip. And that's one of the worst things that can happen to an old person, because it very often is the first step on a hospitalized old age, just on the treadmill of repeat incidences. And if you don't want to break a hip when you're 62, then you need to be doing some exercise when you're 35, when you're 45, when you're 55. You need to be involving movement in every day. Now, my biggest tip for that is to find something that you enjoy. Maybe you like to run. Maybe you think you'd like to run, but you've never figured out how to run properly. Well, you should start with walking, then you should learn how to run, and you move that way. We all know, or a lot of us do know, and anyone who has done the research also knows, that applying load to your body, what is known as resistance training or weights training, is one of the most important things that you can do to prevent the onset of things like sarcopenia, which is bone thinning when you're older, or muscle loss and bone thinning when you're older. So make sure that you are doing some load-based activities. But if you haven't done sport in years, I highly recommend that you do things like walking before running, playing frisbee before playing soccer with the lads, and maybe body weight exercises before free weight exercises. Because the worst thing that can happen, and it is very common, is that a person decides that they're going to introduce more movement and exercise in their life, and they immediately get injured. And then, of course, they just put on weight while they're waiting for a year, and then they try again from an even worse position. But number 3, after sleep, nutrition, is movement and exercise. You need to get it into your life. Can you guess what it is? Meditation and mindfulness. Very on trend, but that's not why it's important. The reason that I believe meditation, quiet, stillness, even contemplation is incredibly important to us today for good mental and cognitive health is because there is no quiet left in our days. We have devices that are drawing our attention every minute of the day. We have jobs that interfere in our evenings and weekends. And then we have the normal load of being a human, being a brother, being a father, being a dad, whatever it is. Finding time to meditate gives you time to get this nice and quiet, to just give it a few minutes to rebuild. If you manage to take the quiet, then that's good. If you manage to take quiet and a little bit of contemplation and a little bit of gratitude, then that's very good. And if you manage to create time for a bit of meditation where you can actually learn how to meditate and create a meditative practice, well, that is great, because that will help you in times of difficulty, in times of mental stress, and in times when you need resilience. Meditation may seem like something that perhaps is a bit airy-fairy, but it is not. It is very hard to do. It is, and that's why we call it a practice, a meditation practice, because we have to practice. We're practicing stilling our minds, keeping ourselves quiet, and strengthening our will. My number 4 is meditation with a side of gratitude. Here we are, number 5, getting out into nature. There have been numerous studies that prove that spending time in forests like this one, even in urban parks, even in your own garden, if they include lots of greenery, lots of plants, fractal-based shapes of nature, that it improves your stress response, that it lowers the cortisol in your body, that it increases the serotonin and feelings of contentment in your body, and generally has lots of good effects. This is my favorite thing to do. You can hike, you can trail run, you can mountain climb, you can kayak. What can you do that takes you into nature? You can mud jump, you can lake swim. There are so many different ways of spending time in nature. It doesn't all have to be adrenaline fueled. It can just be wandering around, admiring plants and flowers. But if you're spending time in nature, odds are you're moving, you're getting better oxygen, and you're having the cognitive benefits of enjoying your body and your mind being in the place of our evolution. Get out into nature. It will have a massive impact on your mind and your life. Well, that's it. That's the big 5. Sleep, nutrition, exercise, mindfulness, and nature. If you could dial in these 5 items to your life, you will find that you have better health, you have more energy, you feel more confident, and you will also feel that you have more cognitive capability. On the side, you'll probably lose some weight and get stronger too. All good things. So I hope you enjoy this quick run through of important life fundamentals. And if you want to contact me, take a look at coach360.com.au. Have a great day.